Hi and welcome back to the channel. So hopefully you have watched my first video using Rando and playing live samples. So I did 3 tracks using some of the kind of presets that I had created using the randomization feature. And this is the first one that I did, and this is Glorious Cadence. So there was this rather nice pad, which was looping. And then there was the Chinese winds, which went rather well. And then there was an orchestral one, which I was basically just using the kind of piano section. So the kind of first kind of couple of bars, and then eventually later on I let the whole thing run. So that flute is very, very nice. As I'm going a bit of a flute phase at the moment. This kind of ambient noise effect, and this kind of synth loop wavy arp. So it kind of had a bit of a gap between the samples. So it kind of died off and then came back in again. So that was kind of played in as and when I felt like it. And as you can see, these have been locked off so that if I accidentally randomized this again, I wouldn't lose those samples. So if you're kind of playing live and then you forget like what the sample is, you just hover over it and it will tell you. So that's quite good as well. It's quite difficult to remember what they're all doing if you've got maybe about 8 or 9 of the damn things. And if you want to get rid of these, you can just shift click them. If you want to get rid of them individually, you can just click them. But if you want to get rid of the whole lot, you just shift click. There's not like loads and loads of pages. The hamburger menu is one that you'll be using quite a lot, and that's where your presets are. So you can either save and then overwrite or save new. So you can see that's all the ones that I have saved so far, and I kind of used 3 of them. So I used Phonium Septet and Blissful Aria as well in the video. And then you've got support, so you can do requests. Color-coded keys for sample types is the latest one, and then you've got feedback and tech support there. So that's pretty good, and they have been very, very good at taking on board the requests and feedback from users. So this is now on version 1.4, and there's been a huge update. So I will leave a link to the 1.4 update video in the description, and it goes through all the new features that have been added. And then settings is your packs, so you get a free audio tent pack. You can install that if you want, and then there's your sample locations. So you can see this is all the samples that I have brought in: the soundtrack loops, output, loop cloud, Ghost Hack, Black Octopus, Akai, and the Apple loops from Logic. And then you've got your prefs. So I've got various things switched on. So auto normalize, auto pitch lock, and auto stretch is switched on. You can also switch on auto find sample start, preserve the tempo on export. You can switch on dark mode. You can follow MIDI during playback, and then you can show your export location and set your export location, and then you can set the keyboard range as well. That's basically the settings and the presets. The scale, the tempo, took that down to maybe about 100. And then you've got the master volume, and then you've got the effects section, which we will have a look at later, and the sequencer. So you just click those on and off. So at the bottom, the first life is actually kind of like gives it kind of like an analog warm feel. So you can kind of bump that up, and it kind of adds a bit of drift, like oscillator drift, and kind of warms it up. So I haven't really been using that. And then you've got your ADSR, you've got transpose, velocity, and then the volume. And a lot of the time I have been taking the volume down because the samples have been a bit on the loud side. You've got normalize, you've got key, and you've got stretch. And then the playback, you've got loop, forward, and one shot. And then the direction, forward and reverse. So I could reverse that sample, and So latches will loops will keep playing until the note is pressed again. Magic is the loops auto align playback position. Listen is all received MIDI notes will lock notes, and then you can either switch from polyphonic to mono. Then this bit here is if I select say a kind of bass or a guitar or a piano, I could play that across the keyboard. So you basically have a whole playable. So I could change the loop end so that it didn't ever go on to the orchestral kind of section. And then it kind of starts off so you could get a bit of the orchestral when it comes in. That is a very nice sample. So yeah, so you can do that obviously, and you can adjust the start as well, so I could have it starting there or whatever. Grid, which is the snap to BPM grid mode, use shift to fine tune, and then you've got export to export the current sample, and then you've got edit, which is open additional sample settings, which is the crossfade, the play speed, the key, the BPM, and the PB range and the pan. So that is kind of Rando in a biggish nutshell. Within the Rando circle, so if you want to randomize, you just press the Rando. So we'll shift click this lot and get rid of this. So we'll get rid of all those and then we'll randomize. But if you press the gear icon, you can filter the randomization settings. So type what you're looking for. So you can type in there what you're looking for as well. Or you've got the loop type. So you've got loop and one shot, you've got the length, and then you've got favorites. So you can search for type or categories. So you've got drums, non-drum, tonal, and other. And then the categories are, you know, kick, bass, brass, clap, whatever it might be, pianos, vocals, and then you've got all my locations as well. And as you can see, I have 61,500 samples. Who knew? Because I certainly didn't. To be honest, I've probably used maybe about 500 of those. So for instance, I could type in pad, and we'll have a search for that. So I've got 1,150 pads. So we can just click Rando and then we'll see what comes up. So these probably won't be all pads. It doesn't kind of sometimes work 100%. So that's a synth pad. So you can look for specific things and then lock them and then re-randomize. So I could find a really nice pad. Not that one, obviously. So for instance, I could lock that and then go back to settings, delete that and put in synth, nearly 6,000 synths. So we'll randomize that. So that will still be my pad, but everything else will be synths or synth basses, as it turns out. So like I said, there's various different ways you can work this. So like I said, these are quite loud, so the best thing is to drag them down a bit. So you can see this is on loop. And then this is just on playing once for as long as you hold it down, or if you can change it to one shot and that's it, you just have to press it once and it'll press it once and it'll just go through, and then you can bring in something else. So that's not a synth, so that shouldn't really be there, but like I said, it's not 100%. So we've got an arp, got synth bass, synth melody. So that might work quite well with that. So yeah, so like I said, that's one way to do it. Or like I said, you can just go back and then take that off and then do a complete rando with just and just see what happens. So we'll get everything. So we'll still have my pad. So we've got a nice little drum beat.
Let's dance on the dance floor, let's dance.
So that is quite nice as well. So it looks like we can lock that one. So we've got a bass pad loop. So that's quite cool. We've got some violins. So we'll keep that one as well, and then try and find maybe a vocal or something.
Let's dance on the dance floor, let's dance.
Right, we'll take that down a bit. And we'll put some effects. We'll put some chorus on.
Let's dance on the dance floor, let's dance. 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 Let's dance on the dance floor, let's.
So yeah, so if you want to use the filter, you can just switch them off and on there.
Let's dance on the dance floor, let's dance.
So you can just drag this around as you're playing.
On the dance floor, let's dance.
Get to something you like.
Let's dance on the dance floor, let's dance.
Right, we'll try that, see what that sounds like. So there we go, and we will just save that. So go to presets, go to save, and do you want to overwrite the current preset? Yes, we do, and that is it. So that's a reasonably quick look at Rando, and I'll have a look at the sequencer and the kind of effects next. We'll see how we can incorporate those into your samples. I forgot that you can't actually change the speed of the whole sample using this menu as well. So you've got normal 1 beat, 2 beat, 3 beat, 1 bar, right up to 8 bars. So I forgot about that because you kind of don't often really kind of go up there. So thanks for watching, and as usual, if you are enjoying these videos, please like, subscribe and share, and I will see you in the next one.